Well, Rambling Canuck, finally back for an Enterprise review with Vance Major. How are you doing?
Oh boy, I'm great.
Oh, so we get a Porthos episode.
Heck yeah. The only thing missing from that was a piece of cheese.
Yes, and a storyline that didn't make you want to go bleh halfway
What?
through.
A topless to Paul in this episode? I count me in. I'm good. I'm game. So, what did you before you started recording? You said you felt like you had already seen this episode.
Yes, it literally. As we're watching it, I'm going back through and going. We've had to have reviewed this already because, or I may have, without even thinking about it, watched it recently. It's something because I felt like I've seen this before. Just like
Well, and that's the thing. Like we discussed before the show. It has that season one episode vibe, and which I would say it has one of those vibes of like a good season one episode vibe, which those were kind of far and few between for me. And as much as it was like, the episode's kind of corny, it really, to me, I don't mind watching it. I can kind of sit there and let this be background, episode. It's one of those, like, it doesn't really hit the sweet spot of, oh my god, this is a great episode, but it's one of those ones where I don't really mind it all that well. What did you think, man?
I didn't mind it. I mean, it's not the first. Aliens are stupid and they're asking me to do something I don't want to do. Episode in Star Trek. Um, but I mean, all in all, it's all right. It doesn't really advance the story any. It teases the whole romance thing. I don't know if that gets paid off. The Doctor and Archer are okay on screen together, so that's not too bad. But basically, in this episode, Archer has a breakdown because his dog is going to die, which makes sense from a human perspective. It makes sense that the non-humans are like, what the fuck are you freaking out about, dude? It's just a dog. Which
And that was
what you
one of
would
the things.
expect.
Well, that was one of the things that always kind of bothered me. Is like, why are you always taking Porthos onto these alien planets? And I felt like this one kind of addressed that.
Yeah. But just the whole storyline, I don't know what it is, but it just seems like we've reviewed this before. It's like it's really weird. I can't get it out of my goddamn head that I've reviewed this before, because and what really bothers me is I went back because I swear Cap was here. Like, it's really weird. It's tripping me out because it's like we've reviewed this before. I know we have. So when it releases and I get, hey, you guys did this already, I'm gonna be like, I knew it.
Right.
I freaking knew it. But it's because the whole storyline of the dog peeing on the tree, I swear that was in season one somewhere.
Well, Travis made the joke where no dogs gone before, and it's like a pee joke reference. So, or if I'm if I remember correctly, that's what it is. Like, I could be remembering wrong, so forgive me if
Yeah,
a hardcore Enterprise fan gets on there.
But I
like,
mean, to be fair, I went back and no, we haven't done this particular one, but
right, but that joke. But that joke has been made before with, especially with Porthos, and I think it was Mayweather. No, it may have been Tripp. I'm not sure, but like, again, like, at least that joke has been made before, and
but it's just I don't know. Maybe I've watched it recently without thinking about it, and because normally I don't watch the next episode before we do, so I have a completely fresh look at it. Like, my Netflix stays on whatever episode we're on next until we watch it. So it just, it just puzzles me because throughout the whole show, I was sitting there going, "I've seen this before."
Well, maybe you've got those Guinan powers, and
Yeah,
we're in the alternate time. Like this is the yesterday's Enterprise timeline,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
other
It's
one is
just
the real
weird.
one, and
But I
you've
mean,
already done it.
yeah. All in all, there's not much to say about this one. I mean, it's one of those I think meant to be like a feel good.
It's a feel good filler episode. Like you've
Yeah,
got like the things I do like about this episode though. I love the banter between Phlox and the captain. I feel like you get a good sense of at least more with Dr. Phlox, like what his like. I mean, he's kind of the one of the more popular characters of this show, and you get a better sense of him. You get more in depth into his character. Um, it was kind of odd with the captain kind of like wanting to Paul, but I guess that is kind of bound to happen. And I do enjoy at the end where she kind of cock blocks him, is like, no, heck no, dude, I don't want you advancing toward me, you beagle lover.
mm-hmm.
you know
Yeah,
I to me it was, again, like I said, it's a perfect background episode where you don't have to pay that much attention, and you're like, it's got some fun moments in it. It's got some eye roll moments in it where they're like chasing the bat, and I'm like, seeing him trim his toenails is just like, this is just a weird, just fucked up, like it kind of has an Addams Family vibe in some moments where you're like, what, you know.
yeah,
But I'd say overall it was an enjoyable episode, especially considering the fact that we've had quite a few clunkers in the first episode or first season. To me, I felt like this gave, and it showed Hoshi in a different light too, where she's like, "What are they doing to you guys?" To the
yeah,
bat. It's like, oh, so she's not running away scared and powerless, and yay,
yeah,
two thumbs up for that.
yeah.
So to me, I just felt
Appreciate
like
the
it was
little things. And
right.
I will say this. I mean, compared to the show that I'll have to watch later, this is at least I'm not angry.
You mean your favorite show, Lower Decks or Discovery? Like which one? Because
Oh
it's
God. Discovery.
yeah, no, it's
Oh, that's brutal.
it's funny because like as we're watching this, like back in the day, people didn't consider this Star Trek.
Yeah.
They really bashed it, and we watch it and we're like, it's not a great episode, but it's okay, or man, it's this is good for an Enterprise episode, but to me, it's like this. You can't have all the time like universe shattering type episodes. Like you've got to have
No, especially in these ones because they're more than 10 episodes long. Unlike
so the
Discovery and all
so
future Trek.
so for like something like this, I found it really enjoyable. For me, I would rank it probably because you had good stuff with the Doctor, you had good stuff with the Captain. There's that thing with Hoshi. Even to Paul, I found entertaining in this episode, and a lot of the episodes I find her just like, why are you like, I hate your character. Some episodes is hit or miss. And as I told you before, like it gets better as the series progresses with her. She's more likable character, and I found her very likable here. And not just because she's topless.
But I bet you it helped. Anyway.
Right. But like the one thing that really bothers me, or at least bothered me first go around, even throughout the whole series, but it doesn't really bother me here. And I was wondering when it happened, was like her wig. Like to me, it always looked odd because I know that Jillian Blaylock has long hair, and it always felt like is whenever like you watch Saturday Night Live and they have someone playing a Vulcan, for in a Star Trek parody, like they have an oversized wig or they have something that's just exaggerated. And that's what her wig always reminded me of. So I never really took her seriously as a Vulcan, that with those pouty lips. But like, this is the first time that I really was like, I don't really mind her all that much,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's me.
And come on, the thought did cross your mind. Well, if you are into captains, well, if you're into captains, let me tell you, I'm a captain in several different generations.
I'm in fan films. you got to throw around that credit like it's worth something. But
all right.
No, if I was to
Oh,
rank this one, I would say for Enterprise, I think it was pretty damn good. I'd say this is probably a 7. Um, it's it's not, like I would say 5 and below is really bad. So I'd say it's between a really great and you know it's not a 5. So I'd say probably a 7.
yeah,
It's a
I'd
pretty
go a
good episode.
6. I'd go a 6 just because it's kind of still that meh. It was all right. Nothing major to complain about, but there's no, give me some story here, folks. Right? Like we're 5 episodes into the season already, and we're not going anywhere. We're kind of on a treadmill going this, you can hit that speed up button. I thought that was the weakest part of the whole episode was when they were trying when she'd speed up, he'd speed up, she'd speed up, he'd speed up, and it's like, oh, really? Ugh. But yeah, so yeah, I'd go with 6, but it's just it's kind of meh filler next. Yeah, that sums it up in a nutshell. All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining me as always, and
Absolutely.
hopefully we can get back on track here. And I want to thank everyone for watching. And until next time, take her easy, folks.